Sometimes you don't have it physically, sometimes mentally, and sometimes it's both. This was one of those weeks. Patience was going to be key, and I ran out of it fast. But one thing we don't do on this channel is give up.
Get in. Oh my god.
I kept grinding, clawing my way back up the leaderboard, one shot at a time.
Wow.
It wasn't pretty, but this game's about finding a way, even when you're running on fumes.
I'll be good.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This week we're back on the East Coast Pro Tour at the St. George Classic in St. George, Quebec. This is a 2-day, 36-hole stroke play event. The course is a par 72 and plays just under 6,900 yards. It is a ton of fun to play and is one of the favorite stops of the year among the players. We don't have the biggest field for this event, but it is still a fairly strong field, including one Quebec-based Corn Ferry Tour player, Etienne Papineau, who happens to be around as he's on an off week from his normal schedule on the Corn Ferry Tour. I did some work with my coach leading up to this event, and I have been hitting the ball great. Unfortunately, while playing in the Pro-Am the day before the first round, I started to feel a little bit off. I got very tired, my tongue started to swell, and my lower left forearm was also swollen for no apparent reason. But we're here, and we're going to battle as hard as we can. I'll be walking you through the full round, shot by shot, sharing my thought process and strategy along the way. Let's get into it.
Ceci est le départ de 9h50 pour la 5e édition de la Classique Desjardins de Saint-Georges. Premier sur le départ de Montréal, Québec, James Colin Davis.
And here we go. The first hole is a par 4, measures 368 yards, pretty straight away overall. It does dogleg a little bit to the right around the bunker that you see there, but the bunker is not really in play if you're hitting driver. So basically just looking to start this straight at the green. If it moves a little bit left or a little bit right, you're absolutely fine. This was going back into the wind. It's a little bit cold. You can see I'm still wearing a hoodie here. Just looking for a good drive here to start the day. That is not a good drive to start the day. That is a massive hook. One thing I have been working on is to get the ball to stop moving to the left when I'm hitting driver, and that is the opposite of what I'm looking for. So that ball did end up finding the water. Definitely not the start we were looking for in this event. We found our entry point, we take our drop. I have 98 yards in here, ball well above my feet, so I'm aimed way out to the right. Pretty good strike there, drawing it in off that lie. Pretty good shot. So nice recovery after hitting our drive into the water. We've given ourselves about 4 feet here to save par. Just managed to sneak that in the left side. So it's a shaky start, but that is a good scramble. We will absolutely take that par there. The second hole is a par 3 today, playing 165 yards. Wind is off the right. I'm hitting an 8-iron and I'm trying to start it just right of the flag. And I do, but I draw it a little bit. Of course, with the wind coming off the right, that's going to accentuate that draw. It's by no means a terrible shot. I'm not happy with the ball flight, but the result is, it passes. So we've got a long look at birdie here going across the green. This is going to break considerably from left to right as the green slopes from back to front. Pretty decent effort there. A little bit of an underread, but the pace was quite good. We've got this 2.5 foot putt here going back up the hill to save our par. In for the par. Again, it's been a little shaky, but we haven't dropped any strokes yet. The third hole is a short par 4 at 365 yards, the dog legs to the right. I'm heading driver to be aggressive, and after missing one way left on 1, I miss it way right on 3. So I'm going to tee up a provisional here, just looking to put a better swing onto this one. Literally a carbon copy of my first drive on this hole. Now we find the first one, both were within 5 yards of one another. I've got no choice here but to chip it out. That's my 7-iron. Just putting the ball back in play, so you get that back out into the fairway. Let's see if we can make another par like we did on the first hole. Be pretty wild to start this round. So I have 86 yards here. This again, my sand wedge back into the wind and nowhere near the target. As soon as it came off the face, I knew that that was bad. And in watching the footage, I can see that my alignment was a little off, but see here, I'm trying to rub the sleep out of my eyes. I'm just still in bed mentally. I just can't seem to wake up. So we've got this chip here for par. Now we're chipping back uphill, but it's going to be quickly downhill after the hole, so you got to be careful here. I definitely hit it a little bit harder than I wanted, but I wanted to make sure that I got it up past the pin at least. We've got work left to do, but we do have an uphill putt for bogey. I'm just trying to gather myself here. This has not been a very good start. So this putt here for bogey, going uphill, and it should turn a little bit from my left to right, your right to left. Good roll, and just a complete overread. Or I was misaligned, I'm not sure. But this has not been pretty. We are, well, once we tap this in, we will have played 3 holes, and we've yet to really hit any good shots other than the wedge on 1 after the drop. That double bogey gets us to 2 over par through 3 holes. The 4th hole is a 582 yard par 5 that dog legs left around the bunker and then back to the right to the green. Now, normally I would like to take my drive a little bit more over the bunker, but seeing as I'd missed 1 way left and 2 way right, I'm just kind of going for the wide spot here, and I did hit a good drive there. That was nice. We still had 268 yards in here. I don't really have an angle, so I'm just hitting a 7-iron up there over that next fairway bunker to position myself. I'm not about to try and cut a 3-wood around that corner after the start that we've had to the day.
That's back-to-back good swing.
We have 119 yards left in here. This is my gap wedge, wind a little bit off the left here. Another decent strike there. Good for distance, just a little left of the flag, slightly on the safe side, but again, not feeling super comfortable right now. Not wanting to be super aggressive because I don't want to miss the green to the right there and short side myself a little bit. So we have a look at birdie here. It's back down the hill. It's turning significantly from left to right. It's going to be pretty quick. Okay, well, it's not going to be that quick. Never gave that a chance. Considering we haven't hit many good shots when I have a putt for birdie, and then to leave it short is pretty dang frustrating. The 5th hole is a 406 yard par 4. We've got water down the right, trees to the left. I'm hitting 3-wood, trying to take it down the left side, and I do, but then I draw it off of that line, which is clearly not what I was looking for. Luckily, it does hit some trees and kicks right back into the fairway, so that'll be good for the stats. We have 144 yards left in here. This is a little bit downwind off the right. I'm hitting pitching wedge to this front flag. And again, I feel like I'm pulling shots, but in seeing the footage afterwards, I'm completely misaligned. Just, for some reason, so tired that I can't even tell where I'm aiming. getting pretty frustrated because of it. So we're pin high. We have a birdie putt. It's an outside chance. Breaking from left to right all the way. And pretty good read, and just didn't hit it hard enough. Another birdie putt that we've left short. So we'll tap this in for par and stay at 2 over after 5 holes. The 6th hole is a par 3 playing 183 yards today. I'm hitting my 7-iron. This is slightly back into the wind. I don't want to go past this, so I'm just trying to kind of punch this up there. Now, that looked good. It felt pretty good. Finally felt like I put a good swing on it. Barely covered the front edge. So even when I'm hitting the ball well, it just doesn't really seem to be going anywhere. We've got a long putt here. It's going to be a bit of a double breaker. It's going uphill. This thing was tracking really nicely and just missed on the high side. But if we're looking for positives, we actually got that one to the hole. So we will take that. This putt here for par. We'll tuck that one away. Pretty solid par there. Not an easy hole. The 7th hole is a 424-yard par 4 that doglegs pretty hard to the right. Now, if you hit a high cut, you can go kind of up, over, and around the corner. Well, that's what I was trying to do, but instead I started on my line and draw it off of it, which again, as I mentioned on one, is not a flight that I enjoy seeing right now. I'm getting very frustrated with that ball flight because if you're trying to hit a cut and you hit a draw, obviously that's not going to go where you want it to go. And you can see that the body language is just not good. So I have 142 yards in here. I'm a little bit behind a tree. I've got to try and draw it around it. The wind should help the draw, so it's really not that tough of a shot. Hitting my 9-iron here, trying to hit a nice little draw. Loved this when it was in the air, drawing in all over it. And never even made it to the front edge. So again, coming up short with an approach shot. So just questioning everything a little bit right now. The ball striking really hasn't been solid. My putting hasn't been very good. Just trying to find something to kind of feed off of right now. We've got this for birdie from the front fringe. This is going uphill, breaking to the right. And then it's going to go back down towards the slope, and then you'll see as this gets past the hole, it's going to start breaking pretty heavily to the left. Now again, we got into the hole, that's good, but that was not very good pace control on my part. We've got quite a bit of work left here for par. This going uphill, breaking from left to right. Put that in for par, and even though I feel like I'm playing some pretty poor golf right now, somehow we're only 2 over par. The 8th hole is a great par 4 coming in at 411 yards. This fairway doglegs to the right around the body of water that you see. I'm hitting driver, getting pretty aggressive, trying to go just left of, well, there's usually a fountain in the water. It wasn't on for some reason. That's a nice drive. That felt great. Came out on my line. Didn't move either way. If anything, it faded a little bit. Covers the water. Somehow didn't manage to make it back to the fairway, but that's fine. Now look at my alignment. I am clearly aimed left of that flag. And all day I felt like I was aimed to the right. So that gives you an idea of just how crossed up my eyes are today with the fatigue that I'm dealing with. Pretty strange. Not very much fun. Again, we're pin high, putting back across the green. This is going to break from left to right. Bit of an underread, but pretty good for pace. We'll take the wins where we can get them right now. That's a pretty easy par, but considering we had, 75 yards in, I would prefer to have given myself a better look at birdie. The 9th hole is a short par 5, 490 yards. Just looking to take this over the left center of the bunker. Now, this does technically turn a little bit left, but to me that's like kind of within the tolerance range. It's really not that far off from where I was aimed. It is going to be down the left side of the fairway. That is absolutely fine. We have 178 yards in. going slightly uphill. This is a 7-iron now. I've been drawing a lot of shots, so I'm playing to draw one back up into the wind here. Of course this one doesn't draw. Just hang it out to the right, catch the edge of the bunker, and I am not pleased. Really not pleased. This should have been a fairly easy birdie from where we were, and now I've really got to work for it, and again, you can see the frustration. So this bunker shot, I've got green to work with, but I'm on an upslope, so these can be a bit awkward because it is going to send the ball higher up into the air where you just kind of want this to come out, bounding out, releasing. Get it out onto the green. It does release up the hill a little bit. It's not a great shot, but I have left myself in a good spot where I'm putting back up the hill, though I do still have about 10 feet here. Going uphill, breaking a little bit from left to right. All right, we're on the board. That was a pretty shaky front 9, but we are only 1 over par. The 10th hole is a 546-yard par 5. The dog leg's way to the right. Now we had this a little bit left to right for the wind, so I'm trying to hit a fade around the corner and ride that wind out. I do it, but I have to admit that faded much more than I wanted it to. Couldn't actually see where it was off the tee. I just had to kind of trust that I'd made it around those trees and I was going to be okay. It was. We had 215 yards in. Bit of a weird lie in the rough here. Now it's downwind. I've got 5-iron out. I'm just trying to kind of land this near the front of the green and chase it up to the flag. That was actually a pretty good looking swing there. That one felt pretty good. Landed a little short. Runs up a little bit. It's actually going to catch that slope and come back off, but considering how things are going, we'll take that shot. This is a long uphill birdie putt here. This entire green slopes from left to right. I'm expecting this to turn quite considerably. It just doesn't really turn very much, and that's a fair ways past the hole, so I've got a very quick putt coming back down the hill here for birdie. Really want to get this one to drop. We do. That is back-to-back birdies. We are back to even par, and that actually put us in a tie for 9th at the time, which was pretty shocking. So we've overcome some early adversity, and we're back in this thing. We just want to steady the ship here. This is the 11th hole, 413-yard par 4. I'm hitting hybrid. Just trying to hit a nice little draw that's going to stay short of that bunker that you see. Hitting driver, to me, it's just not the play. The landing area is so small, it's just not worth the risk. I've got 152 yards in here. This is my 9-iron. Pins on the right, wind's a little bit off the right. It's going to be hard for me to get this close because I am drawing the ball a little bit today. And there we have it. That's another one of those draws that I just mentioned. Just draws back towards the middle of the green. Good for contact, pretty good for distance, not very good for proximity. So again, we're just trying to steady the ship here. We're back in this event. We just don't want to do anything stupid at this point. So we've got this birdie putt here going back across the green. About 35 feet, going a little bit uphill. Should turn from left to right. Got it going on my line. And just left it a little short, and that has been a bit of an issue recently. Pace control overall has been pretty good, but I find on too many putts they are just coming up a little bit short, or at least too often, let's say. I'd like to give some of these putts a better chance of going forward. The 12th hole is a 565-yard par 5. The dog legs to the right. I'm just trying to hit it over the left corner of the right bunker here. And I blow this about 40 yards right of my target. I'm going to guess, maybe more. I mean, that was nowhere near where I thought I was aimed. Well into the trees here. No option but to chip it back out with a 7-iron. Matt's going to have a little bit of a hard time finding this in the trees, but we do get it back out in the fairway. There you see it, left side of the screen. So we still have 206 yards in here. Now, I'm feeling like the wind's a little bit behind me. I am hitting 6-iron. And that felt like a pretty good swing in the moment. The strike felt pretty good. Pushed it a little bit, but that was the safe side, and it didn't even make it up to the front edge of the green. So even when I'm hitting them well, nowhere near the distance I'm expecting to hit it. Again, just a lot of questions going through my mind right now, and not much stability in my game. So we've got a really long, tough 2-putt from the front fringe here, just to save par on this par 5. This is going to go right to left as it goes up the hill here early. And it should straighten out, and at the end it might try and go back to the right, but unfortunately I did not hit it hard enough for it to get to the point where it might go back to the right. So about 6 or 7 feet here to save par on this par 5. This would be a terrible place to drop a stroke.
Yes.
We convert the par putt at least, and that keeps us at even and avoids the bogey on the par 5. The 13th hole is a par 3 today, playing 148 yards. It's a bit back into the wind. I'm hitting 9-iron. Again, it's that kind of patented little draw that I've been hitting today, especially with the shorter clubs. Lands on the front edge, just short of pin high, spins off onto the fringe. Decent result. All things considered, it's not that bad, especially the way things have been going today. We're not in any kind of trouble. And we do have a look at birdie. Now, this is going uphill and cresting, going back downhill, turning to the right. That one didn't actually come up short. It is pin high, I guess you could say. I'm not sure if you can say that for a putt, but just a little bit of an overread. So, bit of a missed opportunity there, but still from that distance, bit of an outside chance. 14 is a 400-yard par 4, doglegs to the left around the bunker that you see there. Now that flight looks cool on this hole because it does dogleg left, but I wasn't trying to do that. I was trying to hit it a little straighter than that, so we'll take it. I mean, I'm not in the worst spot I could be. It didn't hold the fairway. I am just gone into the right rough, but we do have a shot in here. 103 yards. This is my sand wedge. Wind a little off the right. I'm expecting the wind to bring this back in. And this just kind of took off high and to the right and never came back. That is a pretty below average wedge shot right there. You can see that I'm kind of looking at my divot and trying to figure out what is going on. Big exhale. Just trying to stay in this thing mentally. I'm tired, this has been frustrating, and my patience is running out. We got a long look here for birdie. Going back across the green. You see there's a bad patch on the green there that the ball kind of bounces through and kicks a little bit to the right. Now, that wasn't a great putt to begin with. I'm not going to try and blame it on that patch. But I've got this left here for par, and having seen the previous one break to the right, I expect this one to break a little bit to the right. It breaks to the left. So after working so hard to get back to even par, that is a very sloppy 3-putt bogey on not too difficult of a par 4 to get us back to 1 over. The 15th hole is a challenging par 3, today playing 223 yards, a little bit downwind. I'm hitting a 5-iron. That was actually a really nice strike. I was very happy with how that one felt, but as you can see, it's a mile left of where I'm trying to go, even further left than the bunker. On a positive note, it was pin high. We'll take that. So chipping back across the green, and this is just going to be a complete misjudgment. I think I'm chipping back into the wind. I think the green is a little bit uphill, back like sloping towards me. And yeah, I mean, I hit the shot I was trying to hit, and it just wasn't the right shot. It did not react at all the way I expected it to. So I've got a ton of work here for my par. The ball's right up against the fringe, which can be a little bit awkward at times. This is going to move from right to left, and I just dead pull that one and hit a little bit firm. That never had a chance to go in, and I've still got work to do to save my bogey. So, this 4.5 footer here, going a little back uphill, breaking from left to right. Yeah, I thought that was going to turn in, and it stopped turning, and that is a 3-putt double. We've 3-putted the last 2 holes to go from even par to 3 over. The 16th hole is a 505-yard par 5, pretty straight away, a little back into the wind today. That drive was pretty decent. Now, I would like to have aimed further left and try to fade it, but because I've been drawing the ball, that's basically right where I was aiming. So I get it over the bunker, I'm still in the fairway. I do have 188 yards in here. This is a 5-iron that I'm trying to cut up around the corner of these trees here. I got it on my start line and it just never really cut. But it does kick a little bit right off the top of that bunker. We're really not in a bad spot there. Overall, that's a pretty good leave. We're just off the green. We're going to be chipping back up the hill here, but I did have a bit of a funky lie. It was hard to tell how that was going to come out. Expected it to come out a little bit faster, but that's okay. Still a pretty good chip. We've left it just below the hole. We've got a really good chance at converting this birdie here, and at least getting this round back to 2 over with 2 to play.
Yep.
Convert the birdie. Good bounce back after the last 2 holes. There were things to like about that hole. 17 is a par 3. Today playing 195 yards back into the wind and a lot of wind. You're going to see that as I'm walking into this, I step off right away. I put down the 5-iron. I pick up the 4-iron. And I'm just trying to hit like a kind of punchy 4-iron back into this wind here. And that's about 3 miles right of where I was aimed. And that was very, very frustrating. It's not often I miss my lines that badly. We still got like 30 yards in here from the right rough. Open the face, hit it well, left it short, and proceed to slam the wedge into the ground out of frustration. Still work to do here to get up and down for bogey. All things considered, that was a pretty good chip shot right there. We're going to be able to walk up and tap that in for our bogey. And guys, I just want to take a second here to apologize for the club slam. That is very out of character. I believe it's actually the first one on the channel, but this was a very difficult day for me. Wasn't feeling well, not much went my way, and I ran out of patience, and I am going to try to do better in the future. So the 18th hole is a dogleg left par 4. You can see water on the left. It's about 295 to carry it. That was my effort to make sure that the ball did not go left, because those draws that I've been hitting are not coming out with much spin. They would not carry 295 yards. That is safe, but it does take me much further away from the hole for my second shot. We've got 175 yards in here to a pin on the right side, wind a little bit into, but more off the left. That was an effort to draw a 7-iron back into the wind, and instead I hit a push cut that will ride the wind, finish right of the green, kick right of the green. That is the one spot I didn't want to leave the ball, because everything slopes away from me here. Even though this goes back into the wind, it's not going to be enough to stop this. You see, I'm going to throw this up in the air, really nicely hit shot, hit my landing spot. The only chance I had for that to stay close was if it hit the flagstick. So I've got a lot of work to do here, coming back uphill, trying to save my par. This is going to turn from my left to right. And just a complete overread. Had good pace, hit my intended line, but it was just never the right line. Oh, we'll go ahead, tap in for our bogey here, which will be the conclusion of an opening 4 over par 76 in the Desjardins Classic. It was one of the more frustrating rounds that I have played in a while. We've had an up and down start to the year in terms of my health, dealing with an injury, and certain obstacles we've had to overcome, but we've played some good golf, and that today was not very good. Alright guys, I'm back at the hotel. Obviously that was a pretty rough day that you guys just witnessed. I don't know what's going on right now, but like my tongue is swollen, my lymph nodes feel swollen. Like I don't know if it's an allergic reaction to something or if I'm getting sick. My left forearm is like bruised, not visibly, but like it feels like it's bruised, and it's swollen from like midway down to the start of my wrist and hand. So I'm not trying to make excuses here. I own how I feel. I mean, I'm responsible for the way that I feel, so something that I've done has led to the way that I'm feeling. But it's pretty shitty timing. I'd been hitting the ball really well coming into this. Since the last tournament you guys had seen, I'd worked with my coach and made some really good progress, and I honestly, like, I felt like I was coming to contend to win, and then just like wake up today and, you know, not only do I feel like I'm getting sick and my forearm is swollen, but like I was just in a fog all day. You know, we got off the course at, I don't know, just before 2:30, and I still felt the exact same way I felt, you know, 5 seconds after I woke up this morning. And I don't know why. So very frustrated. Very disappointed. Practiced for a while afterwards, and you know, just tried to find something. But tomorrow's another day. We're definitely not in the position we wanted to be going into the second and final round. But I'm going to go out and give it my best effort. Try and make a whole bunch of birdies and climb back up this leaderboard. And if we're not going to win it, let's at least try and make some kind of paycheck, because if not, this just turned into a very expensive trip. So I'm gonna check out for now. We're gonna go grab some dinner in a minute and then just rest up and get ready to go again tomorrow. Alright, so after getting a pretty decent night's sleep, we're back for round 2. I am feeling slightly better than yesterday. I'm definitely feeling more awake than I was for round 1, which is nice. The number one goal for today is to have more fun than I did on day 1, because day 1 really wasn't much fun. So, with this in mind, while waiting on the first tee, Matt and I proceed to quote a clip from Family Guy that we refer to quite often when we're on the road together.
So do I aim for the water? But you just went?
Have water. This is fun. We're having fun.
Ceci est le départ de midi pour la classique Desjardins de Saint-Georges. Premier sur le départ de Montréal, Québec, James Colin Davis.
So let's try to have some fun and not hit it into the water on the first hole like we did in the first round. So, the nice thing is we've seen this golf course now, so I don't necessarily have to tee up every hole for you, but that being said, first hole, par 4, 368 yards. I'm trying to take it over the left corner of the fairway bunker here. That worked out quite nicely. Now, I'm going to be very honest, that did not feel great. The ball flight wasn't fantastic, but the result was fine. So I'm not going to complain about that. And see, that took a great kick forward. Got pretty close to being up by the green there. So, better start than yesterday. See, I'm having fun. 40 yards in here. This is my lob wedge. I'm just trying to pitch this up to the front of the green and let it release back up the slope to the hole. And that's a nicely executed golf shot right there. I mean, I've left myself a very makeable uphill birdie putt to start round 2. Now, this was supposed to be aimed left center. I was clearly aimed outside the left side of the hole. So again, struggling with the alignment, just like so tired that I literally feel like I can't see straight when I'm trying to line up my club or my putter. That was very frustrating, having set myself up to have a very good start to the second round, and unfortunately kind of set the tone for the beginning of this round. The second hole was playing 160 yards today, a little bit back into the wind. This is an 8-iron that I just kind of hit a little chunky and pushy. Just not one of my normal misses to chunk push it, but that leaves it in the front bunker. So missed opportunity on 1, and now we've got to work to save par on 2. Got this bunker shot going back across the green. This is my sand wedge. Honestly, pretty good execution there. I did fly that a couple of yards further than I wanted to, so it does release a little bit further past the pin. That's a pretty tough putt here, a lot of break, hard to match up line and pace here, and I just hammered it through my intended line. That was the line I was going for, but with dying pace, not trying to hit it 2 feet past. And I knew it as soon as I hit the putt that didn't have a chance of going in. So this here left for my bogey for just about 2 feet here. Back up the hill, will turn ever so slightly from right to left. Managed to save bogey, but again, like day 1, pretty shaky start here. So you'll probably remember that I had to hit 2 drives off of this hole the previous day as I blew them both to the right. Well, that's the classic overcorrection that misses to the left. That was pretty similar to my drive on the first hole on the first day. That's going to finish in the left trees, though we didn't see it come down, so again, I'm going to hit a provisional. And now I hit the same drive that I'd hit twice the day before. So 4 drives on this hole, nothing in play. We do find the first one. I have 114 yards in here. I've got no play but to punch a 6-iron out under the trees and run it up to the fairway to the front of the green. Now, unfortunately, Matt wasn't able to see that from in the trees, but once he gets out of the tree line and zooms in a little bit, there we go. There's my ball right on the front of the green. Honestly, from there, pretty good shot, but we do have a lot of work left here if we want to make par. This is going uphill, breaking to the right, but if you miss the hole to the left, it can break left and go off the green. So I for sure got a little bit scared of that. Did not start it high enough, did not hit it hard enough. So you can see already some frustration with the putter. We've got some reasonable amount of work here left to save our par. That's a complete misread, because I played that as if it was breaking uphill to the right, but of course it's not going to break uphill. It turned to the left. That's a 3-putt bogey after a fairly good recovery shot out of the trees. Yes, the frustration is very real. You'll see here, I'm going to take a nice deep breath, just trying to ground myself, reset, and get back into this round of golf here. So onto the par 5 4th hole. Now I'm trying to take a more aggressive line here today, and I kind of toe sky it, which again, not something I normally do. It doesn't come close to carrying the bunker because it was barely off the club face. So I still have 307 yards in here. I'm hitting 4-iron out of this fairway bunker, just trying to get it past the next one, and I hit about 1.5 inches behind that. Toss the club out of the bunker in disgust. Again, guys, not proud of my behavior here, but I am human. Still have 170 yards in here into the wind. This is 7-iron. Again, hit well behind it and really felt like I pulled it, but in seeing the video, I was basically aimed at that bunker. So again, not much going for us here. And this is probably the worst spot I could have left it, as I've got a lot of bunker to cover and everything is landing on a downslope, running downhill to the right. It is practically impossible to get this close to the hole unless it hits the flag. Kind of like our shot on 18 yesterday, but I played that great, hit my landing spot, ton of spin on it, but as you can see, just gravity is going to do its thing. and we're going to have a lot of work left here for par, but I honestly don't feel like I could have put that shot any closer than I did. So this par putt here, going uphill, breaking from right to left.
Oh, wow.
So we skied a drive, we hit a 4-iron fat, we hit a 7-iron fat, and somehow we walk off with par. What a stupid game we play. So on 5 the previous day, I'd hit 3-wood into the left trees and got a good bounce, and I told Matt, well, if we're going to go left or right, we might as well hit driver and get further up there. So that's driver, goes left. Honestly, not too far left. It wasn't a great ball flight, it didn't go that far. It does finish left of the cart path, but we do have a shot. Now, I do have some branches in the way here, about 120 yards. This is a gap wedge that I have to kind of start out to the right and draw back in. You're going to see that on the second bounce there, that's going to spin to the left. From where I was, that was quite well played. I can't see the ball. I didn't realize just how good that shot was until we got up to the green, but I've got a pretty makeable look at birdie here. And going back uphill, turning a little bit from right to left. Good putt, good pace. Bit of an overread. And that frustrated me because I know that with the way that I'm hitting the ball, I'm just not going to give myself that many opportunities. The par 3 6th hole today is playing 186 yards. This is again a 7-iron. Again, felt like a good strike, drawing it back in towards that flag. Again, barely covered the front edge. So, yeah, can't really explain that. Long birdie look here. This is going left to right early, and then at the end it's going to go back from right to left.
Go. Oh.
Just missed that on the low side. Good effort though, good for pace. We do have some work left here for par. We're able to clean that up though, so we've had 2 pars on this hole, 2 good 2-putt pars on this hole over the last 2 days. Now if you remember on 7 yesterday, I hit a bit of a draw when I was trying to fade it, trying to not do that again. That was better. It didn't quite fade, but it didn't draw. On this hole, it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be a heck of a lot better than it was the previous day. So I have 105 yards left in from the left rough, ball a little bit above my feet. I'm hitting sand wedge. I'm trying to start it at the flag and draw it back towards the middle and just hit a massive kind of flyer push that goes nowhere. Pretty poor shot, pretty poor wedge shot indeed. This chip left here, now not much green to work with. I've got to land this short and try to judge the bounce and release. Hit my landing spot. Unfortunately, just kind of kicked a little bit to the left and then took the slope. So I'm not upset with the execution there. I hit my landing spot. It was the trajectory I was looking for. Just sometimes you're not gonna guess the bounce right, and in that case there, I really didn't. This putt here to make par on 7 and keep us at 2 over par on the day and 6 over for the tournament.
Yes.
That broke more than I expected, but it did find the right edge, and I managed to kill the bug that was biting me, and that's a reason to celebrate. Now, they'd moved the tees up a little bit on 8 today, so it's going to be easier to carry the water, but I wasn't so sure about what line to take, because we hadn't practiced hitting tee shots from every box. Now again, this is that ball flight that I don't love. Now it's fine, but that kind of low drawy one just really irks me. We're in the left rough. We have 70 yards in here. Got my lob wedge out. And 1, I'm misaligned again. 2, I got ridiculously cute with that, trying to land it just over the bunker. And instead, I just dump it right into the bunker. So making a already hard game much harder for myself.
Get in.
But that's a pretty nice recovery shot right there. We'll take that. At least I don't have to grind over, 7 or 8 feet for par, I can just walk up and tap that in and then go rake the bunker and just kind of let my mind rest for a minute. So at this point, this round has been eerily similar to the first round, though we've found different ways of being 2 over going into 9. We are again going into 9, 2 over. Oh, I don't. This time it does go right on 9, which I'm happy about. I was hoping I would catch the cart path.
I get car path.
I think you hit cart path.
I'm trying so hard to have fun right now. Cart path would have been nice, we missed it, but we do have 170 yards in here. This is an 8-iron going back up the hill.
Oh,
That actually felt like a pretty good swing. Came out on my line. Distance control was pretty good. There was a few good things to like about that swing and the result.
We did a half decent golf shot.
So we've hit this par 5 in 2. We've got a fairly reasonable look at eagle here, and this could get us back to even par for the day. So downhill putt here, going to be quick, going left to right early and then going back right to left at the end. Got it going on my line. Never gave it a chance. I talked about this a little bit while doing the voiceover for round 1. This is just happening too often. The putts are coming up short. It's something that I am actively working on at the moment. So on to the 10th hole. We did not have the same left to right wind today, so I'm not going to try and fade this one around the corner and be as aggressive. That was a really nice swing. That's one of the more solid drives I've hit in the last 2 days. Just needed that to kick a little bit to the right, which unfortunately it didn't. So it is going to find the rough, and it was sitting down quite a bit, but decided from 260 hitting hybrid as far up there as I could was the best play, and just came down really steep
It's
on
honestly
that.
pretty good.
Squeezed it out quite nicely. That worked out.
Thank you, Mr. Rake.
What do we say, James?
Thank you, Mr. Rake. I've seen a lot of sand today.
Yeah, Matt and I having fun. About 35 yards here from behind the bunker after the rake kept it out. Good contact, hit my landing spot. I did expect that to check up a little bit from the lie that I had. It did not, unfortunately. This is not a very good leave. This is a very quick downhill putt here, turning from right to left.
Yes.
We cash it, and the scorecard continues to look eerily similar to the way it did in round 1. We are back to even par on the day, back to 4 over par for the tournament, ready to make a charge. So just as I had in round 1, I am hitting hybrid again on the 11th hole, trying to draw it around the corner. And actually hit this one better than I had on day 1. Day 1 was good, and this one was great, and it just kind of got a really nice kick left and continued bounding down the fairway. We have 120 yards left in here. This is my gap wedge. It's taking a little bit off of it. Again, that felt like a pretty good swing there. There's a few decent swings we've kind of put together here back to back. Maybe we're actually onto something here. This birdie putt here, now most of this green goes right to left. I could see this one was going to go right at the top, but I expected it to go left early. It didn't, unfortunately, but I got the ball to the hole. That had a chance to go in, just a bit of a misread, just hard to trust how much that ball was going to break to the right on this green. This here to clean up for par. That keeps us at even par for the day, and I actually feel like we're building some momentum here. So on to the par 5 12th. Remember the day before that I hit my drive into the trees on the right. I again hit kind of like a sky toe ball. Second time today. That lands in the fairway bunker and actually does come out. Which it's pretty lucky, I guess. So we end up on this downslope here. I'm trying to lay up with 6-iron, back into the wind. And that might be the most solid shot I'd hit the entire tournament. But the problem is that it was a solid hit and it flew out of that lie, and that went way further than I anticipated, to the point where we're actually stuck behind trees. So that was poor judgment. I should not have hit that club there. I've got 6 iron again. I'm trying to punch it out under there, and you can just see a complete lack of commitment to that punch out there. Just running out of gas here. So 50 yards in here, I've got to fly this up over the mounds, get it to land on a downslope and check. I hit that great on my line and just caught the last part of the upslope. So it's gonna basically die pretty close to where it landed and leave me a lot of work here for par.
Drill in.
Decent effort, but we're not able to convert on that par effort. I have played this hole very poorly over the last 2 days. Bogey today and had to fight to make par in round 1.
So James brought the putter, the tee box? Never know. You never know.
Yeah, I'm so tired that when walking up to the tee, I grabbed pitching wedge, 9 iron, and putter. So 153 yards here today on 13. This is 9 iron. Again, that felt like a really good swing. Nice high trajectory, good strike. Pretty good for line, pretty good for distance control. I've got a pretty good look at birdie here. It's going a little bit downhill, turning from right to left. I'm feeling great about this putt.
Yeah.
And again, I leave it way short. I was not feeling great about myself after that poor effort on that birdie putt. Again, another very frustrating moment for me. So you'll remember on 14, the day prior, I'd hit a nice draw around the corner that was completely unintentional. I'm just trying to hit a nice straight ball today, and instead I hit a high toe draw around the corner. Again, it's gonna work out. I'm in play, but I hate that miss right now. I have 100 yards here. Feel like I gotta hit lob wedge out of this lie just to get anything close. Proceed to hit about 1.5 inches behind the ball. That is not gonna come anywhere close to getting to the front edge of the green. Just a very poor swing there with the lob wedge. We've got a pretty tricky up and down here. I gotta fly this to the front of the green, have it check, and then release back up the hill. Really good contact, hit my landing spot.
Get in. Oh my god.
And man, like, can we just get something to fall, please? Pretty good shot though, gotta say. That was classy. I enjoyed that one. This to save par. Well, at least we're able to save par. Keeps us at 1 over par on the day. 15 playing 223 yards today. I've got 4 iron today because it's not downwind like it was the day before. And that's, again, just a pretty poor swing right there. That's face wide open, faded into the right greenside bunker. Just not pleased. This bunker shot here from the front right of the green going to a back left pin. Now, didn't feel like there was much sand under my feet. Unfortunately, there was a lot under the ball. So that came out very soft. Only got about halfway from me to the hole. So again, a lot of work here for par. Long putt going uphill, breaking from right to left. As much as I want this to go in, I just don't want to 3-putt double this hole again like I did the day before. At least the pace is good. Wasn't great for line, but we've left it right next to the hole. Not even going to have to mark this one. We can just walk up, tap in for our bogey, and this gets us to 2 over par on the day and back to 6 over for the tournament overall. So this is our last par 5 of the event, and I want to play this one well. And that starts with possibly the best drive I've hit in this event, actually. Just a nice little buttery fade right down the middle. Good launch conditions, was able to get a lot of roll out of that. Oh, we have the wildlife segment, this nice family of geese, 2 parents and their 4 young children. So we had 175 yards left in here, a little back into the wind. I'm hitting a 7-iron here, just trying to take a little bit off of it. Admittedly not a perfect strike, it was a little thin, but for line it was pretty good, just right of the flag. And that kicks a little left, and I know from experience that's going to break back to the left. So we've actually given ourselves a very makeable look at eagle here. About 8 feet, going downhill, turning a little bit from right to left.
Turn left. Yes, sir.
And again, we're back to even par on the day. So what a wild ride this has been. And the scorecard really does not tell the story. So 17, playing 198 yards today. Again, a little back into the wind. I'm hitting 5-iron, trying to punch it up there. And that was lovely. That was a very nice shot there. That really was the best shot I'd hit in the last 2 days. This birdie putt here is going uphill, breaking severely from right to left. Now, they struggled with this green, so it's a little bit slower than the others, so there's some guesswork there with the pace, but overall I'm pretty happy with the guesswork on the pace there. We'll take that par. It's much better than the way I played the hole in round 1. So with the water left here on 18, I'm trying to hit kind of an anti-left shot, something that if anything will fade off to the right and take that water out of play. But no, I hit a bit of a pull draw, and I'm begging for this thing to go.
Yeah, I bounced.
We did see a bounce, but my lord,
Playing
what
with fire
am I
here.
doing?
Fuck sakes. Jesus Christ, man. What am I doing?
And there we go. Cleared it by literally inches. And I'm barely going to have a stance here. I'm practically standing in water. Here I have 154 yards. I'm hitting 8-iron. I'm just trying to make sure that I get it out of here and up towards the green.
Be good. Go. What a shot.
Juste content que j'ai pas tombé en arrière. Non.
Oh, I'm sad.
I know you're sad.
Fucking would have been amazing. I would have laughed so hard.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
That was a pretty phenomenal shot from there, I'm not going to lie. And we've got this for the improbable birdie to finish.
And go in.
I'll leave it short. Because why not? No, it's nothing new. We tap in for par, and at the end of the day, making par considering where we could have been off the tee really isn't that bad. And we finish even par for the day after that roller coaster of a round. 4 over par for the tournament after, well, probably an even crazier roller coaster in round 1. Very frustrating 2 days. One that I want to forget about quickly and just get back to work. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in and watching this tournament recap. Just to start, before we get too deep into the breakdown here, I want to take a second to apologize for my behavior on the course. It's out of character. I'm not proud of it. I'm gonna try and make sure it doesn't happen in the future. This was obviously a very tough couple of days for me, and it's not the first time that I've struggled in tournaments. But the combination of the struggles on the course and my mental and physical state, it was just too much. And I did not manage it very well, and for that I'm sorry. I'll start with just a little update on how I'm feeling. So I did take a couple of days off when I got home from this event just to kind of rest. Put the clubs away for 48 hours, give my body a chance to recover, give myself a chance to recover mentally. I am feeling better. I do feel like I was basically bordering on burnout going into that event. The beginning of this season has been incredibly demanding in terms of the tournament schedule and providing lessons and keeping up with the editing of the videos for this channel. And then you pair that as well with the work that I've had to do to overcome the injury I sustained in April, and it's been a lot. It's been a lot. That being said, I'm going to make some changes to my lifestyle. I mean, I generally lead a fairly healthy lifestyle to begin with. There's not a massive overhaul I can do, but little things that I can focus on, trying to just make sure that I'm eating healthier foods as much as I can, getting more sleep, because that is something that I tend to not necessarily get enough of because I end up staying up late editing videos or whatever it might be. I'm also going to get some blood work done just to make sure that there's no underlying issues at the moment, because something that Roxanne pointed out is that she knows I've been busy, but I have been very tired of late, and it's not normal. So I'm not overly concerned with that. We just want to make sure that if there is anything going on, that we get ahead of it. Now, something that's very clear is, I know I'd mentioned in the previous video that now that I'm feeling healthy again physically, that I've been a little bit lost in my golf swing, since I've been kind of building a swing per day kind of, thing when I was playing injured based on what my body could do on a given day. Playing in the state that I was playing in, being that tired, really exposed issues with my golf swing. I'm already taking the necessary steps to resolve that. I've been doing some good work with my coach. We haven't actually seen each other, but there's been a lot of video going back and forth, and just going over different talking points, trying to figure out exactly what we should be focusing on. I do have direction with what I should be working on, and I'm seeing some progress. Obviously, changes don't happen overnight. It's going to take some time, but I'm already seeing that the ball striking is a little bit more consistent. The quality of the strike is more solid. Directionally, it's easier to control the ball. Things that over time I'm hoping to continue to build on. So I actually have just over 2 weeks off after that event before my next one, which is good timing at this point, because obviously I need time to rest and I need time to work on my game. I need time to prepare, and I'm also going to be taking advantage of this time to give some lessons, because the tournament schedule in July is absolutely nuts. At this point, I only have 1 day available to teach. So there's a lot of good stuff coming. There's going to be a lot of great content coming on the channel over the next few months. But right now, I've got to take these next couple of weeks just to work on myself, to work on my game, to get myself back to as close to 100% as I can, so that we can kind of go into July swinging. Oh, that's a terrible pun. And I guess just one last point about this event is, in the state that I was in physically, mentally, the fact that really no aspect of my game was working. I wasn't good off the tee. I wasn't good going into the greens. I wasn't great around the greens, and my putter was it's probably, no, it's not probably, it has to be my poorest putting performance of the season so far. And somehow we managed to finish only 4 over par for the 2 days. So it could have been a lot worse. I felt like I scored a lot worse than that. I guess that's me really grasping at straws here, looking for some positives. But anyways, that's a wrap for this video. Thank you again so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. If you're new to the channel, please like the video, leave me a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. We just hit 3,000 subscribers just about 48 hours ago. I'm very excited that we've reached this milestone. Let's keep this going. The growth is incredible right now. We've added just under 600 subscribers in the last 4 weeks. So we're really onto something right now. Let's keep the momentum up. Let's get to 5K. Guys, if you're enjoying this and you have like-minded friends who you think would enjoy the channel, it would mean the world to me if you would share the channel or one of my videos with them. Let's just do what we can to spread the word and keep this going. That's it for now. Thanks again for watching, and as always, I'll be back again next week with another video. Cheers, guys.